Welcome to Keiser Voices, the story of success, brought to you by Keiser University Graduate School, here where the academic world meets personal triumph. Join us today as we dive into the captivating tales of success.
Hello, my name is Dr. Manuel Rosa. I am a professor in the graduate school at Keiser University. I teach in the education department. Anyone getting a master's of science in education, or a doctoral degree in educational leadership, curriculum and instruction, and instructional design and technology. I attended Rutgers University, where I got my bachelor's degree in psychology and Puerto Rican and Hispanic Caribbean studies. Then I attended New York University, where I got my degree in student personnel administration, my master's degree. And then finally, I earned my EDD at Florida International University with a specific concentration in higher education leadership. So I'm excited today to talk to you about personalized learning in the digital age. We're going to go over some of the latest trends and most importantly, give you some knowledge and thinking points about how you can incorporate technology in the digital age and get ahead of the trends. So at the time of the recording of this podcast, it would be 40 years that the Macintosh computer was available for purchase. That means 40 years ago, people in their homes had this machine, large machine, that was able to, for the first time, process information and give it back to you in a manner that was able to be understandable, clear, and give you a wide variety of options. Back in that day, 40 years ago, was the creation of the mouse. So for those of you who use a mouse on a traditional desktop or associated with your laptop, the mouse was invented, and something called a floppy disk, not a little USB drive. It was a disk, a square. They called it floppy because when you went like this, it would flop. And you would insert that, and that's how you would either install any software that didn't come with the Mac, or that's how you would save your information. So 40 years ago today, this is what occurred. And 40 years ago today, some of the feedback was, this will never work. This will never catch on. There's no way we can get this in every household. It's too expensive, because at the time, the Macintosh computer was about $2,500 to purchase. And if you adjust that for inflation in 2023, that'll be about $7,000. So even back then, there was the question of how can we get this to users, and how can we ensure that it is available to all incomes. And I say that it was the topic of conversation. I say that in more of a hindsight. When it was created, I believe it was not intended for to think about, well, how are we going to get this in all households? It was a business transaction to help launch Apple into the company that it is today. So now here we are, 2023, and we have seen the growth of online education. And some people would think, well, since the pandemic, that's when everything just exploded. And to a sense, that's true. But I remember 10 years ago at Keiser University, I was teaching something called a MOOC, which is a massive open online course. And in the MOOC, anyone from around the world could log in and take one of the courses. The courses we were teaching was one course. It was an introduction to educational leadership. And it was myself, the chairperson, Dr. Fudadatio of our department, and we taught class to anyone who wanted. I had about 100 students at the time. And it was self-paced, and students at their own pace could complete their assignments. And as a professor, it was my job to go in there, participate in the weekly discussions, and to grade them accordingly. So most of the people did not finish the course. Again, this was years ago, a decade ago. But still, it provided the opportunity to learn. And you could pick any topic you wanted to and take that course. And it could be associated with a university, associated with a business, whatever. And that was the popular thing back then. And now you fast forward to today, and this is what the world society is embarking on. Taking different courses to develop not only their knowledge of whatever business they're in, but they're also taking them to develop their soft skills, human skills, problem solving, creativity, active learning, emotional intelligence, resilience. People are now able to identify what they want to learn, find a platform that will engage them in how to learn it in whatever manner they see fit, and then end up with additional knowledge, whether that additional knowledge is just something for their own personal use, or whether that additional knowledge is leading to a certificate or a degree. But people now have the flexibility to do that. During COVID, as we know, changed much of our thinking, changed society, and really put a spotlight on some of the inequalities that we have in education. When people went from face to face, and then all of a sudden now had to transition to actually having a working computer, Wi-Fi, a computer that had storage, and then a setting in their homes where they can concentrate and focus and do their homework. Educational institutions and students may have been hesitant before, I'm not taking an online course, because they had some preconceived notions. But the force to go online then changed some people's mind. Think about when you are maybe hesitant to try something new, and then you're in a situation where you're forced to do it, and then maybe it wasn't as bad. So the pandemic actually made people think, not all people, some people believe, well, it's not that bad. And now that opened up the world to a more acceptance of using technology in this digital age to personalize their learning. So with this technology, with this explosion of technology occurring to meet the needs of students that are now okay with going online, then now technology has also accelerated and has given the opportunity for students to personalize their learning. What do I mean by personalize? There is now courses, software available where students can, at their own pace, decide what they want to study and at what time is best for them, how often or frequent they want to be in the class, and then in what form are they going to be assessed. You may know this as adaptive learning. So instead of a professor saying, these are the deadlines, this is when you have to meet, these are the expectations, this is the time that this is due, students are now able to go at their own pace. And I say students because I'm referring to higher education, but generally speaking, again, the entire population can find things online that they want to learn and then at their own pace learn that. So we have the digital tools to cater to the diverse learning styles, whether you're a visual learner, whether you're an audio learner, or whether you're a kinesthetic hands-on learning. You can find the software, find an institution that has the software or the platform to give you these options and really cater to your preferences. So if you're a type of person that doesn't perform well in exams, then personalized learning could be the way to go for you, because learning not only will involve a lecture, but it involves interactive simulations, real-world scenarios, problem solving, and then you also get immediate feedback, whether it be from the software or from the professor. On the back end, the professor is able to see the analytics of what is happening. So the professor gets the data. The professor can see what questions are students earning the most right? What questions are they getting wrong? How long are they spending on the different assignments? How long are they in the lecture, discussions, PowerPoints? So it's a real deep dive into the learner. And then based on that data, professors can make feedback. And we have been doing this all the time, but we've been doing it manually. We've been, looking at your papers, looking at your essays, and trying to come to analysis, use some qualitative research to see what we are looking at and what are the trends in the grades, and then trying to fix it. Well, now we have the software, the analytics to do that. If you're at Keiser University, we have Blackboard, and that's how we assess, and that's how we are using in real time data to help us improve our curriculum. So that is what we're doing here to integrate technology, and that is the adaptive learning that you can now choose and find institutions that will do this for you. So if you're hesitant in learning, you can, or having challenges, in the past, you felt like you were not successful sitting down and just taking these 300 question exams or writing these 20-page essays, then there is learning that will adapt to your needs and will be beneficial for you. If your goal is to earn a degree or certificate, or again, just to improve your soft skills so that you can be successful in a classroom or successful in your workplace. So whenever you have anything new, you need to have training, or what we call professional development. So there is professional development available to higher education faculty in order to successfully execute and be able to deliver to students their personalized learning. So I frequently go to the Chronicle of Higher Education and attend their workshops in order to get an outside perspective. And then ideally, your institution will provide ongoing professional development. So here at Keiser University, we have something called the TLC series, and that series is the Teaching and Learning series, and that is created by faculty to meet the concerns that are happening in the teaching field. So we offer the workshops and we attend the workshops that are voluntary, and in order to become better professionals. So those are the types of higher education professional development that is out there. And again, you yourself, before you dive into the technology, either as a student or even more importantly as a professor, you want to go through the technology yourself so you can see what the students are experiencing and check out all the bells and whistles and see if there's anything that is students may need more hands-on. So maybe creating training videos, and the training videos will be good for you and your students, and also hopefully your organization, your higher education institution will have videos as well to support your learning. So again, here at Keiser University, we do have in our learning platform some how-to videos, some troubleshooting, so that we are able to again meet the needs of any technology changes, any platforms. Right now, we're moving, when we do our live sessions, we're moving from one platform to another. Within the Blackboard system. So we are doing what we can and making sure our professors are ready for that. And you want to give people, of course, advance notice. So when you're doing professional development, you want to make sure you're attending these professional development workshops, if you can, ideally before whatever technology trend or change takes place. Finally, my one piece of advice to all of you is to just, and it circles back to what I said in my introduction. 40 years ago, the Macintosh was created, distributed, available for purchase. There was hesitation, there was fear, but also there was opportunity. So with our trends, with our digital trends, with our personalized learning, we have to, as a higher education field, focus on the opportunity. So we need to not be afraid of change. And it's a natural human instinct to maybe be hesitant to change, but we need to embrace what is happening in digital trends and make sure that we are ahead of the curve and that we do what's best for the student. So I know I gave a lot of takeaways here for you to think about. But again, think about all of these. If I have to narrow it down to one, think about all of these trends, the ability to personalize learning and use digital tools to do that as an opportunity so that everyone has an opportunity to gain an education. Everyone has an opportunity to earn that degree or that certificate, or everyone has the ability to work on their soft skills and their technical skills so that they can be positive contributors to their workplace, to the education, and to society as a whole. And we do that here at Keiser University. So I thank you for listening to this, and check out our future podcasts. And if you need anything, have any questions, my name again is Dr. Manuel Rosa. My email is mrosa@keiseruniversity.edu, and I'll be happy to answer any questions education related. And again, check out one of our courses at Keiser University. I teach in the master's and PhD in education program. So thank you very much.
Thank you for journeying with us today on Keiser Voices, the story of success. As we close this chapter, remember, every story has its next page.